Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm coming to you from Cape Town, South Africa, where we just had a power outage and it's just come back on. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. This evening for me, or this afternoon for Niki, we have Niki on with us. And as you can see, from the video on the screen there, you can see the great lineup of folks that are due to join us in the coming weeks. And as usual, before we get going, we're going to just share a few words from our community about Niki. And we'll start with this one from Jyoti, and he just said, Niki is remarkably responsive and responsible with initiatives she takes on and delivers, often exceeding expectations. Her deep commitment and clarity of thought, coupled with her experiences in both exponential technologies and entrepreneurship, makes Niki a rare, invaluable impact creator. We then have this one from Eric. And he just said, since last year, I've gotten to know Niki through our efforts on the OpenExO Economy core team. She brings her A game to every conversation, meeting, and endeavor. I've also seen other sides of her through her personal development efforts, which she also gives 100%. Her ability to manage others and achieve goals is both consistent and inspiring. The EXO community owes Niki a debt of gratitude for her efforts towards helping us bring the EXO's token to market. We then have from Carlos, I had the pleasure of meeting Niki 2 months ago, and I recognize Niki as a person that can make a huge impact everywhere in a short time. She knows exactly which buttons to press to make dreams happen. She is also one of the best storytellers I've met in the OpenExO community. And then last up from Angelo, Niki is one of the incredible people that I've had the privilege to know this year. We start working together at the EXO Economy team, and it's a pleasure to talk, discuss, and co-create ideas from 0 to 100. Niki is the kind of person who will support you and stay close until you reach success. She spreads happiness. I just want to say thank you. Niki, your mindset, passion, and obsession to do and learn is inspiring for me. You are the kind of person who people can count on to change and improve the world. It is an honor to meet you. Let's create a better world together. Apologies for that, everybody. It seems like I had a bit of internet disappearance. Niki, sorry to leave you on stage alone. How are you doing this afternoon, Niki?
Muted. There we go. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. I love these testimonials, because to me, I don't even need to speak anymore. These guys are just awesome. My heart is all warm and fuzzy. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's been really great.
And I really hope you got to hear them. I was a little bit worried when after I was done, I seemed to have disappeared, but everything seems to be okay now.
Awesome.
So, Niki, we always start by asking people a little bit about your background. Where do you come from? What is your background? And ultimately, how did you end up joining the OpenExO community?
Well, I am a small town girl. I came from the Midwest in the US. We used to summer in Canada, had a fishing resort and snow ski in the winters. And basically, I had entrepreneurial parents, but I really didn't have any navigation to know what to do. So I was just inspiring, others by doing creative things. And I have this creative flair. But I was encouraged to go into science. So when I studied in college, I studied science instead of art. And so it's like, okay, I'm cool with this. I love, right brain, left brain. I can kind of juggle both. And so first couple of jobs out of college, I was in the lab. I was a scientist. And so I was doing research science. And I had these companies approaching me saying, hey, can you test out this product? Can you compare that product to this product? So I became a spy. And I got paid to be an entrepreneur, a spy for these other companies while I was doing my other research work. And so that was pretty cool. So I naturally got plucked out of the lab to do marketing and advertising, manufacturing, distribution, sales in the biotech industry. So medical devices and all the supplies that go with them, all the disposables. So that happened for quite a few years, and that was corporate. And I loved it. It was great. But then everything changed and the tech bubble burst and all these different things were happening. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this on my own. And so I went out and I became a consultant and I did certain things, but then I got pulled into new media. And so I got into this, the world is changing, we're going to DVDs instead of CDs and cassette tapes and all that good stuff. So I was in a company, a trade association actually, that supported the newspaper industry going through its, decline. And we basically saw it coming. So one of my roles was to produce all of the creative that helped convince the world that you need to get online and try to talk to very large organizations as well as little ones. It was a lot of talking to try to get them to say, you need to be online. That's the next best thing. The exponential curve is about to happen and yours is on the other side. So it was an exciting time and we got to make big things happen. And that industry did evolve into much different stuff. So I don't know. I kind of stayed in science, but I also wanted to study other things. And so after that happened, I basically thought, okay, I have this sort of metaphysical, spiritual thinking in my way, but there's no way to prove it. So in science, everybody kept saying, prove it, prove it, prove it. Nothing, that's bullarchy. This is all woo-woo stuff. So I actually did a couple of experiments and I ran a couple of retreat centers where we had all the gurus come in and teach their stuff. So there were energy healers and all kinds of things. And so it was exciting times, but it was still that tapping into thousands instead of, in this case, billions. And so as much good as we did in the world, I basically was in Sedona, beautiful spot, never got tired of the views there, and then ended up in Hawaii, living off grid for a bit. It's like, okay, I proved I can do this and it's a lot of fun, but I've got to get back to work. There's a big world out there. I had already started following Peter Diamandis and we were looking into not only Singularity University, but the Abundance 360 community. And they were talking about all these things. And I would hear Astro Teller say, fail fast, fail forward, keep failing and celebrate each one because you're making efforts to get bigger and better and massive results. And it's like, I've done little results and I've gotten, this much big results. And it's like, I'm ready to experience blowing my mind, like Salim says, breaking my brain. And so that's what made me really pursue. And through the other two communities, I met a lot of great people. And this was back when we could still meet face to face. People would travel to San Diego, which is where I am now. And it was a popular destination for bright minds to come and hang out. And so we would meet and it's like, we should do something together. So I got my first couple of companies off the ground and they're in digital health. And I thought, okay, we can do this. And it's like, I still don't know how I'm going to do it. But as Dan Sullivan will say, it's not how, it's who you can draw in to make these things happen for you. So that's basically what I did. I just kept drawing people toward me and, one thing led to another. And I think it was submitting in the Hero X challenge. It's the smaller version of the X Prize, where you come in and you do innovative things and you compete against other companies to make steps in the world to bring abundance to the communities. And so I was in that challenge, and it's like, I was so excited about my project, but it didn't win. So what I did was I went to the winners and I said, I want to work with you. And I think we can collaborate and do these things together. So we did. And so that's when I started opening up and coming into the OpenExO community, because I saw that there was a lot of walking the talk going on. And in my mind, I still have this, the things that talk to you in your mind. It's like, am I big enough? Should I be in this? Am I going too fast, or am I skipping steps to get to the end? What's going on? So then I started taking some of the certifications, and I came to this community, and there was actually a role available too. So I basically said, I got to do this. I've got to immerse. And the pandemic pivot is exactly what I did. So I took full advantage. I said, okay, I'm going to stop consulting. I'm going to start reskilling. And I'm going to come and help this community with the skills that I bring to the table. And it's been, crazy busy, and all in a good way. Should awesome.
I stop? That's an amazing story. Really, really great to hear. I mean, I'm all one for believing in doing different things and diverse backgrounds. And so really great to hear that. Of course, like you say, you have gone through some of the certifications. Have you developed your own personal MTP? And if so, what is it?
Personal MTP was back in the Hero X days. It's to change the sick care system into a healthcare system. And that many years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I still had to explain what that meant to people. So I'm so happy to say I can say those few short words, and it means something now, because people understand we're treating people based on symptoms after something happens to us. And it's like, that's just not good enough for me. I hate. This is why I left corporate America, actually. I was so upset with the pharmaceutical industry giving people more pills. It's like, stop it. It's not about treating symptoms and then side effects too. I knew these people that had 14 pills in their hand, and they were taking them every day. And it's like, no. So part of my work in Sedona in Hawaii was getting back to nature and the natural environment, and what you could do just by setting your diet, your exercise, and your mindset in such a way that your body doesn't get sick anymore. I've recently been reintroduced to digital Deepak. I thought Deepak Chopra, great. He's done some great stuff. I had stopped listening to him. But then he did an interview with Naveen Jain, who's in the EXO community, or in the abundance community. And it was so exciting to see spirituality and science finally come together and say, yes, I can support this. And it's like, oh, yes, I've got to start listening. So I have digital Deepak on my phone. Have you ever done this yet? And I know Peter's doing this. Tony Robbins is doing this. They're digitizing themselves, turning themselves into digital twins, and taking all of their, I'm trying to find it so I can show you. But they're taking all of their data, all the speeches, all the talks, all the books that have been written, and even whatever else they're contributing. And these avatars are learning. It's machine learning on top of everything. So here we go. There's digital Deepak. Yeah. And he'll say my name, and he'll say, how's it going? And it's great. And we can have a conversation. It's not actual human to human, but he can answer all the questions, or not all the questions. When he gets a question that he doesn't know, he says, I'm going to go check with the real Deepak, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. And so he goes out and he learns what I just asked him about. So it's like, I love this. And so I think that can be tied into creating change in people's behavior about self-health. And people need to take command and be the CEO of their health again. And that's the whole thing about my moonshot.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And I'm not sure if you actually know, I mean, before I was in this role, well, actually quite a long time ago, 5 years ago, I used to work in the pharmaceutical industry because I have an undergraduate pharmacy degree.
Oh, wow.
And also am not a massive fan of the idea of just giving a pill for everything. So what would you say, Niki, is your vision then for health in the next 30 years?
Oh, it's going to drastically shift into we're taking back control, and we're going to augment our doctors, and they need to be there, right? We're going to still let them have their profession, but we're literally going to know our bodies so well. We're going to set a baseline for our health. And I have 2 slides if I could show them, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So if you can bring them up on your screen, and then I'll add them to the stream.
Okay.
They should be on screen now. There we go.
Very good. So this is one of 2 projects I've got going right now. And this is a platform play. So basically, it's building a platform where people can start to gather their data. And we're going to build an analysis that takes your baseline data of what exists now, and it's going to track you over time. And as you add things to the database, whether it's an Aura ring or it's a MRI or it's blood work that you did with your doctor or any other data, we're becoming a hub and taking all of this information about you, specifically you, very personalized. And we're going to create these predictive models that say, okay, Kevin, I've seen you for the last month and a half, and I noticed that your heart rate is starting to get slower. Good job. You must be doing better exercise, or you must be, maintaining your whatever, your metabolism. And so what this will do is it'll allow other people to come in and create their own products and services and research and take data in such a way that it's actually meaningful and they can do something for themselves with it. So that's the platform play. But another really cool thing we've got going here is a medical device that actually can be used at home for personal care before it gets FDA approval. So this is a sensor device which actually listens to the carotid flow of your blood. And so what this does is it allows us to hear the changes, the subtle changes when you start to build up plaque, or when there's maybe an aneurysm, or when there's something else going on, or a thrombosis, or what have you. So this literally has 3 different targets. It's neurology, strokes and aneurysms. It's cardiology. It's plaque buildup in the heart and its heart rate, et cetera. And it's also pulmonary. You can hear what the vascular system of the pulmonary is doing. And so we were going to go after the emergency use case study for COVID. Can I predict the COVID cough? And that's starting to be published now. So these are 2 exciting things that I'm working on. And we're in the funding stage, which just changed, by the way. So this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. And that is the VC model of funding innovation is shifting. And so I knocked on doors for probably 6 or 8 months last year. And it's like, come on. This is important. And it's almost like critical, because it's preventive care, it's predictive care, it's not letting people get sick to the point that they have to be hospitalized. And I found that it was falling on deaf ears. And so I thought, I have to go after the longevity crowd, and I have to go after the people who are actually trying to slow down aging and reverse aging in some cases. So that's where I am now, and I'm looking for people to come in and play. So
wow, that's really exciting. I couldn't agree with you more in that, the future of health is actually healthcare, and I know there's a number of people within the OpenExO community who are quite passionate about this too. So you definitely are going to be able to find those collaborators that are there. I know that on this weekend there is a health event that a community member is running, Ken Merkel, and so really, really exciting. When I was actually in the US now recently, I got my DNA done with an organization that actually they give you, it's about 300 gigs of data once they've completed your full genome. So it's nice. a full genome, and I was like, man, that's a lot of data. But yeah, now the amazing thing, of course, is we're constantly learning, and they actually continuously update with information, right?
Yep. Yep.
Which I really think is definitely the future.
Yes, definitely. And I've done the same thing. I've got the full body MRI. I've got my DNA results. My family actually did a DNA reveal over the holidays. We did a Zoom with all the brothers and cousins and nieces and nephews, and we were all talking about it. And it's like, wow, I'm working in the OpenExO environment, which is completely diverse. Absolutely no one culture, people, way of being, language even. And here was my lily white family from Western Europe and Scandinavia comparing their results. And it's like, oh, I am so happy. I have a Persian child and I have Latina daughter-in-laws and a granddaughter. It's like, thank you, because we're mixing it up. And I know that there's a shortage of data in all of those cultures. And so I'm trying to mix it all up by working with everybody that I can. So it's exciting.
Perfect. So Niki, of course, I mean, you've got this passion in health, but then you're also, like you said, reskilling, spending a lot of time looking, working with the EXO economy.
Yes.
And can you share a little bit about what the experience has been like? Learning more about about economy.
Yeah. I'm at the age where I might be intimidated that things are moving too fast for me, but I won't let myself be held back. It's just, there's no reason that anybody can't just move forward, because to me, if you're not skilled at something, somebody else is. And all I need to do is source the crowd. It's like, go after the community and say, okay, who's the digital scientist here? Who's the, machine learning analyst here? Who do I need to talk to about, like I was talking about with you? I need to build this campaign to invite everybody to the 3rd birthday party. Kevin, what are we doing? How do we do this? And so we go through that, and it's just a process of getting the right people in the room. And Kent Langley, who is also very, very close in all this, the mastermind really behind the blockchain and what we're doing in the exo economy, he basically said, I believe in a holocratic society. I had to go look it up. And what that means is that we have separate teams working on their skill sets, and then they'll come together for a project. And it's like, cool, we even got further than we might have. And then we go off again, and it's like, okay, there's another team over there. I want to grab somebody from there. And so we get to make bigger and more expansive, almost like viral growth by having access to outside members who are not working for us. We're not working for them, but we come together to collaborate on something that makes sense. And so to me, that's what I need for my platform play. So I'm going to be posting more of that as soon as this birthday party is out of here. So let me show you the birthday slide. Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So here's the invitation to the community. And I haven't convinced you yet why you need to do this, but save the date. It's April 8th is our 3rd birthday of the token, the Exos token, EXOS. And what we're going to be doing is starting a challenge to help teach people why it's important to be tokenized, use tokens in their world. And we're going to be measuring some engagement exercises, which is a win-win-win. Everybody learns something new. We're going to compensate in tokens, and we also get the engagement that we're looking for. Just taking a quick sip of water. So save the date, April 8th. And if you look to the right of that on this screen, you see 04, 08, 16, 32. You'll notice that that's doubling. So when you go through steps of doubling, you can really make a big impact. And it doesn't happen right away because these numbers are pretty small. But if you think about, and I'll show this, if you think about doubling instead of just taking one more step, you're going to see that this map actually shows you how much, if you look in this first column at day 0, 0.01, and we could say, let's say this is $1, and we're saying, okay, by 30 doublings, you go all the way down this map, and because that was 0.01, what you see here is this is $1 billion. So 30 doublings can get you from not 1 to 30, which is what you would be taking steps to do to go across the room, but doubling 30 times can go from 1 to $1 billion. And so that's what we're demonstrating by giving the opportunity not to earn $1 billion. But if you see what's going on in the market today, you see that the decentralized finance is becoming a huge market. And you'll notice this curve. This is an exponential curve. So if we pretend that this is doublings, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, it's a flat curve for many, many days. And then all of a sudden you hit the knee of the curve. And that's what we're going to demonstrate by doing this doubling exercise. We're going to demonstrate that if you just take a few more behaviors, maybe 5, maybe 6 more behaviors, you can go from that knee of the curve way to the top. And so that brings you back to this. And this is another graphic. I think I have another graphic I can show you. Yes, this little curve here is where you hit the knee of the curve around day 20 to 25. And then by day 30, look at how much growth that is. That's pretty special.
Yeah, absolutely, Niki. I'm quite excited about the challenge that you've set up for the 3rd birthday, and because I've been working a little bit with you, and I was just looking at the numbers, and it's such a reminder of the whole 6 Ds and exponentiality and everything, and
walking the talk.
Those first 19 days, you don't even get to 1. But then the next 11 days, you get to 10,000. And it's so great that we're going to be doing this. So, really, really, really excited. And Niki, so it's been really great to chat to you. I've just looked at the clock in the top of the screen, and I realized we've been going for 30 minutes, which is a little bit more than we usually do, but really been great chatting to you. Anything you'd like to just leave with the audience as we say goodbye today?
I would just invite you to come take a look, OpenExO.com. We have an exo economy version, which is the blockchain and the tokens. And that's kind of what we're developing at the moment. And that's what we're going to be basically giving you the splash on April 8th. But just come look. And if you feel like playing, you can dabble, stick your toe in the water. It's not like you have to immerse like I just did, because I stuck my toe in and I kept saying, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's like, it's not happening fast enough. So that's when I took the plunge.
But Niki, so great chatting to you, and we obviously going to chat tomorrow again because we're doing some work together. But really great having you on OpenExO Live. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
The exponential.
Bye-bye. So that was Niki. Always great chatting to Niki, and I forgot to actually speak to her about the pronunciation of her surname. And I didn't want to say it because I might have got it wrong. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week.